Hello guys, once again, welcome back to the Deepcodr. In this video, let's see how to deploy a Spring Boot application in Kubernetes. We will see how to build a Docker image of the Spring Boot application from scratch, and then we will deploy it on the Kubernetes with the help of image that we have built. So without wasting much time, let's go to the editor and start today's video. So let's go to the start.spring.io and build our projects from scratch. So let's just select the build tool as Maven, Java as the language, then we will select Spring Boot version as 3.3.1. Let's specify the group name and artifact ID for our project. So we will build a simple project called Spring Hello World. The project will contain a simple request mapping that will give response as hello with the name provided. Let's just give the description. We will select Java 17 version. You can select 21 or 22 depending on your requirements. Now let's add the dependencies. So first we will add Spring Web, then let's add DevTools, and finally let's add Lombok in our dependency. Let's click on generate. Now let's unzip the file and open the project in our editor. Let's go to the editor and open the project that we have created. We can see the form of our application with the specified details and dependencies. So let's go to the SRC folder and let's create a simple controller that will contain our request mapping. Let's create a new folder for controller. Now let's create a file for our controller. Let's give it a name as hellocontroller.java. So now that the file is ready, let's add our annotation as REST controller. Now we will add a simple get mapping in our controller. Let's give the path as hello. This will accept the simple request parameter as name and then provide a response as hello name. So let's just modify the default response as hello, then let's add a name, and then just we will add from server. That's it. So we have added a sample controller inside our application. So now let's run our application and test whether it is working correctly or not. As we can see, our application got started correctly without any errors. So now let's go to the browser and hit the URL to test the application. So we'll go to the local host and the default port number, which is 8080, and let's add parameter as name. Let's hit enter and we can see that we got the response from the server as hello Deepcodr. So that means our application is working correctly. So now let's start with building a Docker image for our application. Building a Docker image of the Spring Boot application is quite easy with the help of the Maven plugin. So we will update the pom.xml to build the Docker image. So inside the configuration of the Maven plugin, let's add image attribute. Inside image, we will add the name of the image that we want to create. I will give the image name as Deepcodr / name of the image, which will be Spring Boot Hello World. Now let's add the pull policy for the image, which will be if not present. So this will make sure that the image is only pulled only if it is not present in our local Docker repository. After specifying these details, we are ready to build the image. Let's check whether the Docker is running on our machine. So as we can see, Docker is running correctly. So to build the image, let's run a custom Maven command. The command is spring-boot: build-image. And for now, we will skip the test by providing the option. So this will start building the image for our application. So let's wait for it to complete. As we can see, we got the build success, so that means our image got created successfully. Let's check the image from Docker images. We can see our image got created. Now let's use this image to deploy the application on Kubernetes cluster. Before deploying on Kubernetes, let's test the image by running a container from Docker. So we will specify the port number as 880 as our application will start on 880 port, and finally we will give the image name that we have created, which is Deepcodr / Spring Boot Hello World. As we can see, our container got initiated. So now let's test the application which is running in the container. And we can see we got the response. So that means our image is working correctly and we can use it on Kubernetes. Now to create the Kubernetes deployments, let's use Deepcodr and create a deployment. We will give the name as Spring Boot Hello and we will specify the image that we have created. So rather than providing a YAML configuration file, we will first create the deployment and use that deployment for specifying our configuration. Now let's see the created deployments, and as we can see, our one deployment is ready. So now let's export this deployment through the service. The type of the service that we will use is load balancer. And let's add the port, which will be 880. As we can see, the service has been created and our deployment has been exposed. Let's see the services, and we can see that our service is running on port 880. Now let's test the service by hitting the URL. Let's hit enter and we can see we got the response. So now we will create a YAML file from the deployment and service that we have created. So we will use Kubernetes git deployment and then we will output the YAML file to the spring hello.yaml file. As we can see, we got the configuration for our deployment. Now let's add 3 hyphens at the end of the deployment configuration and let's hit enter. Finally save the file and now we will add the service configuration to the same file. So let's use Kubernetes get service, the name of the service that we have created, and let's output the configuration to the same file. Now let's release the deployment and service that we have created and then let's deploy the service through the YAML configuration that we have created. So now that our service and deployment got deleted, let's respin up the service and deployment through the YAML configuration that we have created. And as we can see, our service and deployment got created. Let's see the services and we can see our service is running correctly on port number 8080. Let's get the pods and we can see our one pod is ready. Let's hit the URL and test the application again. And yes, we got the response. That means we have successfully deployed the application on Kubernetes cluster. Similarly, you can use your own application for deploying it on the Kubernetes. So that's it for this video. For more such interesting videos and tutorials, do subscribe to my channel and share my videos. I will see you in the another interesting video. Till then, keep deploying.